Club Penguin is a beloved childhood memory and game for a lot of people, myself included. I've talked about my love for its themed parties in a separate video, but Club Penguin also has a ton of classic minigames from Kart Surfer to sledding. The world of Club Penguin with all of its characters and puffles are absolutely iconic. Love the purple puffle. Love Gary the Gadget Guy. Aside from me loving the ice fishing minigame and enjoying the fall fair, there was another aspect of Club Penguin that I loved the most. Club Penguin PSA Missions jumped on the spy trend of the 2000s, allowing players to solve point-and-click adventure missions working as special secret agents for the Penguin Secret Agency, known as the PSA, keeping Club Penguin safe. You can explore HQ, the main spy headquarters that you can access through your spy phone, or hidden entrance in the sports shop. You can see every inch of the island here, and the countless monitors being surveilled by Gary the Gadget Guy, my favorite of the PSA agents. He's responsible for inventing fun and nifty gadgets you will use throughout your missions. Other PSA agents include the mysterious director, who's the founder of the Penguin Secret Agency, Rookie, the lovable yet very inexperienced goofball rookie of the group, and Jetpack Guy, the cool tuxedo-wearing penguin who has a jetpack. There's also Dot, who only shows up at the very end of your PSA mission journey, but she's a master of disguise. Maybe that's why we never see her. With the spy crew and basic premise established, let's dive into every PSA mission Club Penguin has to offer. Our first mission is the Case of the Missing Puffles. It acts as a general tutorial for how missions will play out. Antarctic, a reporter for the Club Penguin Times, has lost 2 of her puffles and it's up to us to find them. We meet Gary for the first time at the sports shop. It's really funny seeing his old design here. I much prefer how he looks later down the line in these missions. We ask if he has any special items, but first we must answer his question. How many socks does he own? I don't know why Gary or any penguin on this island would own socks, but whatever. The tic-tac-toe code system gets introduced when we need to decipher a note that solves Gary's sock question, and we can finally get our hands on some spy gadgets. A grappling hook and a life preserve shooter. A brown penguin at the ski hill, a very important character to Club Penguin PSA lore, tells us that there's some penguins in danger at the iceberg. From there, we must save these stranded penguins with the help of Gary's life preserve shooter. Not paying attention to the wind direction in the corner as a kid made this game annoying as hell. Honestly, saving these guys doesn't really help our mission, but nonetheless, heading back to the ski hill, we find the brown penguin weeping in agony, for their telescope has been obliterated. So we must fix it with our spy phone. A staple to PSA missions is using our spy phone's tools when the situation calls for it. We get a pair of scissors, a comb, and a wrench. Using the wrench solves the case, and looking through the telescope shows Antarctic's puffles high up on the tallest mountain. Using our grappling hook to climb up the mountain successfully leads us to the puffles chilling, taking pictures. We take them back to Antarctic, who is thankful for our agent services. The first mission is very simple and serves as a mini trial to test our secret agent abilities, but compared to what we experience later on, this is probably my least favorite mission just cause it's so bare bones and not really cohesive. Like, why are these penguins stranded at sea? What does this have to do with anything? Still, it serves as a fine introduction for what's to come. Up next is G's secret mission. Gary, Agent G, who for whatever reason is acting like we've never met before, will only send us on our mission if we solve another one of his riddles by deciphering a tic-tac-toe code. Only then does the real fun begin. This mission is a classic. Gary lets us test out his new prototype sled at the top of the ski hill, and we get to do some sled racing. Over the course of our sled journey, the sled keeps getting beat up until it's completely destroyed, and we're left stranded in the woods where we must survive. This mission is a survival mission, a super fun one at that. It's all about exploring the wilderness with our survival guide Gary packed for us. Did he want us to get lost on purpose? We can fish for fish by making a makeshift rod. We're introduced to the iconic flaming black puffle, a staple character throughout these PSA missions. They're very helpful, a little darling indeed. They become our friend when we give them O-berries, and join us as we start a fire, cook some dinner, and sleep the night in the cave. When we wake up, Jetpack Guy appears, saying he saw the smoke from our fire that was inside a cave. He brings us back to Gary, who claims he was worried, but invites us to test out another one of his prototype sleds whenever we want. With that, G's secret mission is complete. It's pretty short and sweet, but I always like this one for how fun it is exploring what's beyond the island, putting things together, and making our puzzle friend. The case of the missing coins is our proper introduction to the overarching plot we'll see throughout the rest of the PSA missions. It drops hints towards the main antagonist, and the secret agent crew starts coming together as a group. All of the gold coins in the gigantic safe in the gift shop have apparently disappeared, and we must find them. We meet Rookie for the first time and see his incompetency when he shuts the safe door and can't get it open again. The point-and-click adventure journey begins as we investigate the gift shop for clues on how to unlock the safe. We get to load up a floppy disk with a sick Penguin operating system logo that has the code to the safe. Taking a look inside, the missing coins are stuck to the ceiling, and Gary calls us to HQ to sort this oddity out through cam footage. We see the coins mysteriously getting pulled to the ceiling, and Gary tips us to investigate the roof of the gift shop. There's a huge magnet with a power box on the roof we can inspect with our spy phone's wrench and destroy it with a paperclip, shutting it all down with the coins freed, crushing Rookie. However, some white fibers have been left behind, planting the seeds to a very important character we'll see later. We give them to Gary to analyze, and he sends us on another venture to the nightclub, where we gotta turn the power back on. The crying brown penguin makes their return by sobbing in front of the club. Going down to the boiler room through the secret speaker exit, we play a little puzzle until the power comes back, and the brown penguin gets their party on. The mission ends. The PSA missions are evolving. The overarching mystery of the white fibers kickstarts, and our agent duties get more involved. But it still feels like things are just warming up. Moving on to Avalanche Rescue, this case has us help out penguins stranded in the mountains from an avalanche. No updates on the fibers from Gary, but in HQ he fills us in on the gadget equipment we'll need, and we can finally explore Gary's gadget room. Easily one of the best parts of PSA missions was exploring Gary's gadget room, clicking everything, looking at the gadgets, and best of all, turning on Gary's Thingamajig 3000. I absolutely loved this feature. I would get so hyped as a kid seeing what the Thingamajig 3000 would do, because every cutscene was so fun to see. I love the amount of care and extra detail put into these missions, even if it's small gags like this, because they're fun to explore on your own, especially as a kid. Onto the actual mission, we find some more white fur, and the crying brown penguin strikes again. The ski lift is broken, and this is where the most life-changing thing to ever happen in Club Penguin occurs. Going into the sports shop, we can take the belt off the mannequin and use it to fix the ski lift, leaving the world of Club Penguin with this belt until the very end of its days. Such a good detail. I always loved how they kept it in the island. Going up the ski hill, we go through a little maze until we hit the stranded penguins. By collecting certain items around the island and combining them together, we create this life-saving gadget and have to grab the penguins in the right order, saving them and finishing the mission. Yeah, this one's pretty short, but Gary fills us in on some mysterious paw prints he found related to the avalanche, and we give him the white fur to analyze again. These clues lead us directly into our next mission. The secret of the fur case is my childhood favorite. Heck, it's still my favorite today. The music did scare me a bit as a kid. It made it seem like the big moment of the mission was going to be way scarier than it actually was. Gary's finally gotten around to analyzing the white fur we've given him with his forensic analyzer. Putting the fur in, it can't decipher what creature it's from, but it finds traces of hot chocolate, hot sauce, and jetpack fuel. So we need to venture across the island, investigating where the traces came from, and collect them along the way for Gary's tracking goggles. This case feels like a true point-and-click investigation game. It really gets in the swing of things, with us having to talk to all kinds of penguins, asking them questions, and putting the pieces together. Starting the investigation proper, we can head to the pizza parlor where there's hot sauce, chocolate sauce, and footprints everywhere. The pizza penguin fills us in on the terrors he's experienced this morning, how he saw a strange mutant hairy crab shadow wreaking havoc in his kitchen. Some penguins in the lighthouse are scared to go up on the roof from growls and snarls they heard. Nothing ends up being there except for the jetpack fuel we need. At the coffee shop, the barista is cleaning up another mess caused by the same mysterious mutant crab figure. We even get a cute artist depiction. We can get some hot chocolate here by fixing the hot chocolate machine, and I loved this part as a kid. Seeing the animations play out was so satisfying. Returning to the lab, we can throw all our samples together to get Gary's goggles working, following a trail of footprints all the way to the ski lodge, where we set up a trap with bait for the terrifying shadow creature. The mutant shadow splits apart as a crab walks into the trap, and the mysterious second half flees the scene, leaving behind more white fur. Heading back to HQ, Gary takes Klutzy the crab in for research, and analyzing the new white fur reveals that a polar bear has been lurking around the island. We immediately jump back into the story in our next mission, Questions for a Crab. Gary wants answers to all of this funny business happening around the island, and Klutzy could provide them. He creates a crab translator for the interview he wants to conduct with Klutzy, but this backfires when he peaks the mic too hard and everything explodes. Klutzy escapes from his chamber, and Gary sends us on a mission to catch that crab. We give chase and follow Klutzy all the way to a familiar place. He leads us to the forest from the survival mission, and we get to reunite with the black puffle from before. With the help of our puffle friend, we head inside the cave where we're trapped, and the main antagonist ever appears, Herbert P. Bear. This mission kickstarts serious business in the PSA series. From this point forward, every mission centers around our conflict with Herbert and how we must stop him. Back to the mission, Herbert gives us a feature presentation about his evil plans, and this monologue is still so funny. He wants nothing more than to live in summer paradise, but instead he is stuck on an island with penguins who party, and he hates it. Oh, he hates it. His plan this week is to chop up the ski lodge for wood for a fire to keep warm. They head out, so we must escape with the help of the puffle, guiding it through a contraption that eventually opens up the trap. Grapple hooking our way back to the main island, Herbert's fixing up his woodcutter and wants some damn pizza, so we get his pizza order, click some switches on his device, and foil his plans by having it cut backwards into the frozen lake. Gary appears and says we have a call. Herbert marks his words with our spy phone he stole, and our beef has been set in motion. Clockwork repairs is next. The clock tower is broken, ruining everyone's day-to-day lives, so we must fix it after Herbert is revealed to be the perpetrator. We can't get the main cog back, so we'll have to make a new one somehow, as we fetch the other pieces across the island. This is a really fun mission that has more of an emphasis on interacting with other penguins, which, you can tell that those missions are my favorite. Rookie appears and hands us a poster of the missing gear, which we'll need for later. On the beach, a yellow penguin sits on a throne made of snow. They fill us in on a yellow puffle who can make anything out of snow as long as you give them a picture. Interesting. Very interesting. At the boating dock, two penguin jocks are playing with the clock target we need. To get it back, we play a hit the target minigame. At the puffle shop, we get a tip on a shy yellow puffle who can come out of hiding from music, and at the pizza parlor, there's a piece of sheet music we can collect. At the theater, playing the right notes on the piano draws out the yellow puffle, becoming our friend. But before it can make the gear, we need the right kind of snow. On our way to the beach, the brown penguin strikes again, crying as they always do, this time about their melting snowman. They used the weak snow, and we learn from his friend that the best type of snow comes from the snow forts. With all of our materials, the yellow puffle makes the gear that we can turn into ice at HQ. At the iceberg, the last piece we need for the clock is frozen in ice, so we head back to HQ and chat with Gary about the gadget magnet we'll need to retrieve the spring. After melting the ice with Gary's test chamber and putting every piece back into the clock tower, Club Penguin is saved. Herbert message box appears, telling us he's on to his next plan, but for now, Gary lets us know we'll be investigating his whereabouts next time. Mysterious Tremors is a classic mission, another favorite of mine as a child. The island has been riddled with earthquakes, and we must find the source of these tremors. Of course, Herbert is behind all of this, creating a maze of tunnels underground only he knows the way through, until he gets cocky and loses his map that Klutzy snips in half. The first half of the mission centers around getting the map pieces back. Following the first piece leads to a line of penguins waiting for theater tickets. The map piece falls into one penguin's newspaper, so we negotiate a deal where we give them pizza and we get the newspaper. At the lighthouse, it's a party. There's balloons and the classic Club Penguin purple cream soda we can snag. We'll find a lot of stuff across the island that we'll need for later in this mission, which is something that happens in every mission. The gift shop has sunk, and with some super helium balloons and all of our materials, the gift shop is saved. It's really cool that there's two ways of doing this, either above ground or underground. I always chose underground as a kid, which arguably felt way harder because it's kind of, you have to do it in a timely fashion, and I kept taking too long and I would have to restart over and over again. Getting the other half of the map involves cleaning up cookies on the floor of the cafe, grabbing the propeller hat from HQ, and giving them to the green puffle outside the nightclub. Combining the halves together, we can venture into the tunnels where we can find Herbert messing with the boiler room. We can steal back the clock tower gear and confront Herbert, who's turning up the heat. He gets angry with us and retreats when he makes the boiler room almost explode, but we prevent the explosion with a puzzle. Heading back to HQ, our plans going forward are preventing Herbert's pursuits while he's lost in the tunnels, giving back the gear to Gary for safekeeping, and forming a new plan of action to protect Club Penguin. Operation Spy and Seek has us on the hunt for Herbert. We need to track his whereabouts through our stolen spy phone by planting tracking devices all over the island in a variety of ways because he's still stuck in the tunnels. Every mission is a fun one, but I love how interactive this one is. There's so many little puzzles, things to do, and games to play. We get more penguin interactions, my favorite thing in the world. At the ski lodge, some penguins are playing Find 4, but are missing a ton of pieces we find scattered around the lodge. Later, two penguins are flexing their puffle skills. It's extremely important to note that the red one is named Ed McCool and the blue one is Destructo. Things go too far when Destructo gets the penguins into a sticky situation. I love their back and forth. These two penguins are the best comedic duo out there. We help them out by taking their gum and moving on with our mission. At the mine shaft, we can move some wood around and weld the cracks of a minecart. A very fun mini game I really loved as a kid. We can send the first tracking device down through the mines, the second at the ski hill with a makeshift kite, and the last one with a blown up rubber duck at the iceberg. We can head back to HQ where Gary tells us that our spy phone is just across the lake from the ski lodge. With the binoculars 3000, we head to the lodge and spy on Herbert from a distance where he's busy trying to light a campfire and fails. He leaves our spy phone unattended and Gary gives us new orders to retrieve the phone, hook it up to the binoculars to somehow make a makeshift surveillance camera we leave in a tree. Returning to HQ yet again, we can spy on Herbert with Gary, learning about the hokey pokey and his upcoming plan involving Puffles, until he notices the surveillance camera. The next mission to come will have everyone prepared for Herbert's next move. Things are getting serious. More plot is developing. Waddle Squad is when things start to go down. It's getting serious as Gary calls everyone together for a very special team up across the island. First though, I love how Gary parallels Herbert, telling us his plans with a big paperboard. Anyways, Gary gathers everyone at HQ, the other agents who have barely shown up until the very end, and gives us the mission rundown. A golden Puffle statue has been found in the mines, and it's up to the PSA to protect it. It's being held in the nightclub for now, and just as Gary breaks down our role, Herbert hijacks the screen and gives us a heads up on his Puffle scheme until Rookie blurts out the golden Puffle at the nightclub. Herbert changes his initial plan after this, but it turns out everything was just a setup for Herbert. The mysterious director appears, and Gary fills us in on the real plan that would take advantage of Rookie's outburst. The golden Puffle is not real. Sorry guys. It's bait for catching Herbert in the nightclub. Jetpack Guy is sent off to the skies, while Rookie takes on the gift shop's magnetic trap, and we're assigned as the mission's leader. Heading out to the gift shop, we can help set up a sale display outside for the shopkeeper, and get the magnet working for Rookie through a puzzle. On the beach, Jetpack Guy's jetpack has broke down, and needs the right mixture of cream soda and hot chocolate sauce. We help him out by playing a very Professor Layton type puzzle. At the nightclub, we can get the contraption ready by getting some rope easily from the penguin at the dock in a very nice, funny joke interaction, and then put the cogs in the right order. Once the trap is fully set, Jetpack Guy reports that Herbert's at the dock, but it's only a false alarm. After that, Rookie calls us saying that Herbert's at the nightclub, so we race back and catch him in the act. Everyone moves in as the golden Puffle gets stuck to the giant magnet, and we can trap him in the cage. All goes according to plan as we discuss his future, until Herbert wants to make a phone call, and Rookie hands him his spy phone, only for Herbert to teleport away. In one fell swoop, our plan has been foiled, but a clue's left behind, a packet of corn seeds. Even though the mission fails, I love how fun and unserious the banter is between us and Herbert. Gary's attitude is just great, from saying we'll set him free because we're nice, to admitting that we should have just arrested him on the spot is so funny. As things wrap up, I have to say that over the course of these missions, the art and animations have improved immensely. The style has truly found its footing, and it's my absolute favorite version of Club Penguin. I mean, just look at Gary before versus now. He looks so much better. There's only one mission left, so let's move on to the finale. The veggie villain is our final mission. Many items have been stolen from the gift shop, and Herbert is the main suspect. Our mission starts with us joining Jetpack Guy and Rookie at the gift shop for some investigating. Rookie's trying on some wigs, while Jetpack Guy's flipping through a book. One of the hairdressing chairs is missing, along with the computer. Paw prints and corn seeds are everywhere around the shop. There's not much else going on, so we leave the shop and get a call from Gary saying we gotta get to HQ ASAP because something's happening. The signal has been cut off and we can't teleport to HQ. In front of the sports shop, there's a projector set up for a movie that's supposed to play, and some penguins are chilling in front of it, including the brown penguin! The brown penguin strikes again in the finale. And yes, they are crying about how they broke their glasses. We help the brown penguin out by trading an ice lens we make for a real lens a construction worker has on the roof of the lighthouse. Back at HQ, Club Penguin is in a state of emergency as Herbert hacks into the mainframe. Rookie and Herbert go back and forth as Gary tries to fix everything. We learn that Rookie took the PSA entrance test 44 times and Gary successfully locks down the PSA's mainframe. I was joking about that earlier, but then he actually said it. Our main mission is to shut down Herbert's broadcast and plans by heading out past the ski village. On the way there, we see Herbert preaching to the nation, and we need this to end. Literally no one cares about what Herbert's saying, but either way, we get a disc for Night of the Living Sled. Fix and clean the scratches on it, and put it into the projector. The movie plays, but the audio is still Herbert. We must track down the signal by opening the projector's box and solving another puzzle. The signal's coming from the mine shack, and right beside it is a corn maze we must venture through. Following the trail of popcorn leads us to pages that have detailed instructions on growing super corn. Going through the rest of the maze leads us to a ladder we can access by popping some corn in the torches. We climb the ladder to see Herbert scheming and flexing the magnitude of his intellect. We interrupt him just as he's about to reveal our identity to all of the island, but we unplug his computer and somehow that fixes the internet, and now Herbert can teleport with the spy phone, so he transports a covered up device to HQ. So we go to HQ and Gary's like, "What's this?" And Herbert's like, "It's a bomb!" The HQ is locked in. We gotta escape, but the door's not working, so instead by clicking around and deciphering a final tic-tac-toe code that tells us to pull the orange book, we must solve our final puzzle. Click the colors enough times until they get into the right place. Cracking the code opens up a secret door where Dot appears for the first and last time in the PSA Mission series. She uses EPF technology to teleport us out of HQ, and tragically, the popcorn explodes, destroying HQ and the sports shop. The PSA is finished. Herbert's antics have run it out of commission, and Dot keeps talking about the stupid EPF organization. It's over. The Elite Penguin Force is what this entire series ends on, and I could not be more disappointed. Real talk, this last mission, unfortunately, feels so rushed story-wise. It's obvious that they had to conclude the series somehow so they could move on to EPF, but I think it's such a sad conclusion. It's not a victory. It's not a look back at all the fun times we had, all the penguins we met along the way. It's not a happy goodbye when it feels like it all ends with a shrug. Well, I guess it's over. Now you can be a part of EPF. Yay! I don't want to be a part of EPF. Little me loved these point-and-click adventure missions, and none of that was a part of EPF. EPF was a new room with some mini games you could play, but not really if you weren't a member, and you could get cool spy gear, but not really if you weren't a member. You didn't have to be a member to get everything out of PSA missions. They were completely free experiences. Herbert did return in party storylines across the island, like Operation Blackout and the parties leading up to it. Those were fun, I loved them, and they do act as a continuation of what the PSA missions set up, but the title of EPF doesn't even matter. I was expecting to get so worked up about this, but clearly I still feel very strongly about it. Those parties are attached to the EPF name, and you're still a secret agent, but it feels separate from everything. It feels like there's this disconnect because EPF is just a bunch of bells and whistles for your penguin. Wow, look at all this spy gear you can buy. And wow, look at your new spy phone. Like, I don't care about any of that. I love my PSA medals. Those items were personal to every PSA mission and felt like a fun, genuine reward. And I love my PSA crew. You learn to love these characters over time from so many interactions and moments throughout the series. I'm sad with how things ended because it feels like a huge letdown to essentially cancel something right in front of your eyes, directly telling you that, hey, it's over. As a kid, that is devastating. And revisiting it now, it's just empty. Like, that's it? That's how you're going out? Tisk, tisk, tisk. I'm just gonna blame Disney. Okay, we can all just blame Disney like we always do. However, as I was working on this video, I was checking out the Club Penguin hashtag on Tumblr, as one does, and saw a trailer for a fan PSA mission. I clicked it and my mind was blown. Nothing's been released yet, the channel just has this one trailer, but already I'm extremely excited and looking forward for this fan project because it looks incredible. The art style is spot on, and the animation is so smooth. The presentation has sold me, and hopefully it releases soonish like it says. I can't wait for 2009, you guys. It's gonna be a good year, I can feel it. So that's that. I absolutely love Club Penguin's PSA missions. I'm so thankful and happy I grew up with these because they're a core reason behind my love for the point-and-click adventure genre. There was so much love and effort put into this series for its run, and despite the unfulfilling ending that left younger me feeling very betrayed and empty inside, PSA is crucial to the world of Club Penguin. Without it, we wouldn't have Gary, Rookie, and Jetpack Guy, our favorite spy crew. There wouldn't be the greatest evil duo of all time, Herbert and Klutzy, and how could we live our day-to-day lives without the brown penguin? I still think it was one of the greatest things Club Penguin had to offer, and much like the entire game itself, I'm sad that it's gone, but I'm happy that I lived it. Thank you for joining me on this spy mission. Happy 20th anniversary to Club Penguin, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Waddle on!